welcome to our church jokes this morning, as I thought I might. Hello, are you a visitor? I don't know. So, I want to thank you before I get started again this morning as a church for giving me and most fully speaking my family together a sabbatical rest this summer. It's been since 2005 I started seminary. 2006 we got married. 2008 I was still in seminary. We started having children, 3 of them, all NICU babies and preemies. Full-time ministry at the same time. Started that position 2013 or 2008. Came here in 2013, one Sunday there, next Sunday here, and so it's been since 2005, almost 19 years that I've been full-time ministry. And ministry enough, as I know Mike Spencer's mentioned over the summer as he was here, ministry carries unique burdens and weights just on its own. Without the sin issues that we bring to it ourselves and the things that I particularly struggle with. I love for everybody in the room to be happy all the time and growing vibrantly in Christ, and take it personally when you're not, right? And having to be reminded, and I know up here, but having to remind my heart all the time that I'm to be faithful, and then you're to be faithful, and I'm to be faithful, and then you are to listen to the Spirit and the Word and go apply those truths. But there's still often times as those of you who deal with anxiety, as I know my wife does, and she talks about all the time, or certain things like that, it doesn't just go away. It's there, and I'm talking to myself all the time not to carry more than I ought, but I did carry more than I ought for years and years, young in ministry and figuring things out and not having a breath. And probably the best illustration, and just to share this with you, hopefully for your encouragement from this summer, of kind of where I was. One of the things I did this summer was I took apart our post office box. Glenn, I hope that was okay. I touched your property. He's the postmaster general. It was sagging. I was getting notes about the things not working on it, so I got out there after they came and before they came, and I took it apart and put it back together and took some stumps out of the planting area underneath it that I'd cut back, some old bushes, and redid the dirt and went and found this lantana. I don't know how they made it, but it's like 4 varieties of lantana on one plant. I stuck that thing in there and I watered it for a couple of weeks, and we had to go away on vacation, and my neighbor watered it, and we came back, and then I forgot to water it one day, while it was still 100 degrees. And this plant that had been really vibrant with all these magnificent just blooms on it, come out, and the blooms are there, but many of them are kind of, the ones that we're thinking about opening up are like, yeah, maybe not yet, and just the leaves are starting to look sad and right, and just that's kind of where I was coming into the end of the spring last year, with just years and years and years of ministry and not having figured everything out. And so the chance to step back and reflect on years of ministry and my own heart and the Lord, and just remember things that are true and remember things that are true about me and my heart, and speak the word to that and take a break and kind of be away long enough to reorient some things in life. It was refreshing. It was as refreshing to me as me going out to that plant and putting a gallon of water on it. And I come out the next morning and it's just, I don't know if I'm there yet. I won't go to say all the blooms are blooming, the righteousness of Christ and the Spirit. I'm not going to go that far. But the freshness and the vitality and the perspective of the summer was really needed on my end, and really, really a blessing to me and to our family. And so we can't thank you enough for giving us that rest, nor for your welcoming of all the young men that came over the summer. And just all we heard over and over was how welcoming and loving you guys were. It just speaks to the true character of your love for Christ, for one another. You can look around. We're not perfect. Go ahead and look around. It's okay. You can do it. This time I give you permission, right? It's a motley crew when you look around, right? Like we bring issues here. But you got a genuine love for the Lord and a genuine love for those who love the Lord. And so thank you for loving them well. And I just pray as we jump in this morning, jump into the fall, that we think about that. And you were so purposeful this summer. Let's hang on to that purposefulness. It's a unique time to send a pastor on sabbatical, to welcome people in. It's new, and it prompts you to do things that you've not been doing before. And we've seen that in terms of ministry initiatives and service and just the welcome of you, of people coming in. Don't lose that, because the beauty of the church and of God's people is really shining forth in those things. And so keep those things, and let's continue to move forward together in those things. So this morning, open with me to Paul's letter to the Ephesian church. Paul's letter to the Ephesian church. This is one of the first books that I preached here at Decatur Bible Church. I had just finished the Gospel of Mark, where I was before, and so I came in and thought, I've got several months of sermons. So I preached Mark, and then I preached Ephesians, because Ephesians is the letter of Paul to the church about the church. And we got a